everything running off solar panels and 3 deep cycle batteries. So I have my radio, my tuner, and all my accessories running off solar. The only thing I don't have running off solar right now is the air conditioner I have out here, because it draws so much power. It'll drain the batteries in probably about 4 hours.
Oh, Roger, now I missed a part of that. My bad. I was trying to get some lights off. We do have a QSO-VLOG studio, if it were, and I do have some lights that I have to crank up to tune the SB220, so I still had those lights on, and that's not good for video. We are running our video now. We are into our QSO-VLOG recordings segment, which we usually run for about an hour. So, gosh, come back again and let me hear you. Your signal dropped down just a little bit, but let me hear where you are now.
So yeah, like I was saying, my shack is literally a shack. It's a 10 by 16 shed I have in the backyard. I have everything running off solar panels and 3 deep cycle batteries, so my radio, my tuner, and all my accessories and everything is running off solar power. And the only thing I do not have running off solar is my air conditioner unit, because it will deplete the batteries in about 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, roger that. But the rest of it, you're grid-free on your radio stuff, Roger?
Yeah, roger. Everything's off the grid, and I don't have to worry about too much interference.
Oh, Roger. Unless now, let's see. Are you running an inverter, or is your stuff 12 volts?
No, everything's 12 volts hooked up straight to the batteries off the solar panels.
Roger. So you don't have to go through an inverter. Now there, you might run into a little noise. I'm not real sure, what kind of noise generation those inverters create, but I would imagine they would, put some SCR chop in the waveform for sure. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. When I do turn on the power inverter for my 120 volts, it just drowns out the whole HF spectrum.
Oh, is that right? Broadband stuff?
Yeah, it just drowns out everything.
Roger. Well, most of my VHF UHF stuff is I've got 3 batteries also, and they're not big batteries. They're a little Walmart 230 amp batteries, but I do have 3 of them tied together in parallel, and a 10 amp trickle charger. And the way that works, it's set up that it doesn't do anything until the voltage drops below 12 volts, and then it kicks in marginally and as needed to keep it at 12 volts. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. I learned real quick. I got a good friend of mine works over here at Siemens, the electric company, and we were discussing it, and the charging system to charge batteries in parallel, you have to run a charger in parallel series. Roger.
If you're running your batteries in parallel, you just parallel charge all 3 batteries. Once a battery becomes parallel, in parallel circuit, it becomes, not a twin, but it's handled as, all those batteries are handled as one. Roger?
Yeah, Roger, but yeah, it seems like everything's working great. I don't have any problems with it.
Yeah, Roger. Essentially, if you have 3 12-volt batteries tied parallel, you have a 12-volt circuit, so you could certainly charge all those in parallel. Roger.
Yeah, Roger.
I mean, the thing would be if you were to discharge those batteries through usage to a point where you exceeded the capabilities of your power supply, then you would want some kind of a circuit that would protect the power supply from working into too low of a impedance load. or a fuse, whichever comes first.
Yeah, Roger, I was interrupted. My 5-year-old was talking to me about the dog.
Roger, Roger. Well, let me come back with your call sign one more time, please.
Yes, that is Kilo November 4, Delta Zulu X-ray.
And the name is Dave, and you're in Clarksville, Tennessee, Roger?
Yeah, Roger that. Can you come back with your call sign, please?
Roger, Roger. Call sign here is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and we're just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. In Indiana, just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Roger?
Yeah, Roger, I actually grew up in LaGrange up there by Louisville.
Ah, Roger, Roger. Well, you were on the Kentucky side there, probably about 20 miles from my QTH, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that.
And, sir, could I ask you what kind of power you're running right now?
Yes, I'm running 100 watts.
Wow, you have some good conditions, sir. I could have sworn that was about 400 watts coming down the pike.
No, I wish I had that, but yeah, it's just 100 watts and good coax and just a center fed about 35 foot in the air.
Roger, Roger. Sounds good, sir. So let me say threes. Appreciate the call there, and we are running our QSO-VLOG recorder. And what we do, we record our QSO-VLOGs for about an hour and a half or so, and then we post them on our YouTube page. Usually we work so many stations that we can't put all of the station call signs in our title, so we usually title the thing by the date and the time and the frequency. So if you might be interested to hear what your station sounds like in a couple of days, if you go to YouTube and check out our QSO-VLOG page, and the way you do that is with a call letter search. In other words, you go to YouTube and crank in the call letters Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. That'll bring up our QSO-VLOG page, and this QSO will be on the page somewhere. Usually up in the upper half of the page. Roger, Roger?
Yeah, Roger, I'll be looking out for that. But I'll talk to you hopefully sometime in the future. I'll give you a 73.
Roger, Roger, Dave. 3's that away, sir. Have yourself a good morning. We'll catch you later. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.
Kilo 4 Zulu Zulu Zulu.
Triple Zulu. Come back with the call sign again, please.
Kilo 4. I got a son that lives in Jeffersonville. New Albany, Clarksville, or Jeffersonville.
Roger, now I have somebody on the frequency with a Vox circuit maybe that keeps cutting in. Sir, if you would come out of your Vox and, stand by, you're generating a bunch of hash on the frequency. Kilo 4 Zulu Zulu, try again, please, sir.
Yeah, I was just wondering what town you lived in, Jeffersonville, New Albany, or Louisville. My son lives in Jeffersonville up there.
Roger, Roger, you got the middle one there, New Albany. We're about 3 miles from downtown Louisville, just across the river, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Okay, I used to live up there in the 80s. Used to work over in Middletown. And my son decided to stay up there. But anyway, I'm down here in Memphis, Tennessee. I got about a 510 on you, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Did you say Memphis? Roger, Roger. And the name, please, sir? Again, the name, please.
Tom Tango Oscar Mike.
Roger, Roger, Tom. Sounding good down towards Memphis there. We appreciate the shout. And what's your equipment lineup?
I got a 7610 Nikon, and right now I'm working doing amps, and I got a wire that I rearranged this morning to kind of go southeast and northwest, northeast and southwest. I rearranged it, got some limbs down from it, and just checking it out. But anyway, you give me a signal with this.
Roger, Roger. Now, are you running insulated wire in that antenna?
It's a outdoor antenna. I think it's a PC model.
Might come up on mic just a little bit.
It's an Alpha Delta PC.
Oh, roger that, roger that. Yeah, I just found out that I use RG6U as the element, and so I just figured since it had good insulation, I would just drag it on through the limbs at the top of a tree, and eventually, over a period of time, I did bring it down, and it was interesting to note that RG6 insulation had failed and had arced right through the RG6 insulation into the limb branch, but at 1 kW. So if you're using RG6 as an element, be sure and put some, I guess, water hose, run it through some water hose stuff right there when it goes, if you contact the limb or something, so it doesn't short through the insulation to the limb. Roger.
Roger, Roger. Thank you. Anyways, I heard you in there. Just want to say hello to you, and appreciate you coming back to me. And I'm trying to get my son and grandsons up there to get interested in radio, but I can't do it. So they got other things on their mind. But anyway, appreciate it. You coming back to me, and I'll let you go if you keep it coming, okay? And good to talk to you. I'm going to go up to AK4ZZZ, clear with KC9VKV.
Roger, Roger, Tom. 3Z away, sir. You have yourself a good morning. And again, we are doing a QSO-VLOG recording, so if you want to hear what your station sounds like in a couple of days, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that'll bring up our QSO-VLOG page. And this QSO will be there towards the upper half, probably, on that page. But if you don't find it there, look at the bottom half. But anyway, it will be titled by the date, time, and frequency. So we usually have too many call signs to put in the title. So 3Z way, Tom. Have yourself a good morning. We'll catch you later. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor.
Thank you, Jim.
Roger. And this is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor and our Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. If you might be interested to hear what your station sounds like, if you give us a call now. We are recording, and we will be posting this on YouTube within the next couple of days. You're a station calling back in there, but you are right at my noise level, sir. Try one more time. Sir, too close to my noise level. I can hear you, but I can't pull out the words. I can hear you in there, but I just can't pull the words out. Roger, Roger. Roger. Say 3's for right now. Maybe conditions will change in a little bit, and you know, you can give me a shout, and I may be able to copy you there. Just out of curiosity, I'll show you what 100 watts sounds like. That is 100 watts right there, 100 watts right there, and so that's what you sound like to me, probably. And we're back to KW. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.
Yes, sir. I am Louis, and I am in Marietta, Georgia. Kilo 4 Bravo Tango Alpha.
And what part of did you say Georgia?
Marietta.
Marietta, Georgia. Roger, roger. Alrighty, you're sounding really good, sir. What's your setup there?
Yes, sir. I'm running a 6600 Flex with a QRO amplifier, running in 25 watts, putting about 1200 out. I have an inverted V at 50 foot at the apex, regular Home Depot 10 gauge copper wire. Roger.
Oh, roger, roger. Now, hopefully your copper does not go into the branches on that tree, or you have some insulation at that point?
No, sir. It's sitting in the center of a lot where it's an inverted V, like an NVIS antenna. It is have a leg on each position for 3 bands, so it's like an inverted umbrella there, Roger.
Oh, roger that, roger that. And so you're using insulators at each end?
Yes, sir, that is correct. I've got them about 7 feet off each end, keeping it off the ground where nobody comes in contact with it.
Roger, roger. Well, doing you a good job, sir. And that 1200 watts really helps out on a slippery day like today, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. The frequency here, everything looks clear all the way through. I heard you in here, and I turned on the amp, let it warmed up for a little bit, and figured I'd give you a shout there. And you're about 20 over S9 here in Georgia, Roger.
Oh, roger that, roger that. And I don't know if you heard, but we are running a QSO-VLOG recorder where we're documenting folks' signals and then posting them on YouTube probably in the next couple of days. So, and the title for the QSO is today's date, the time, and frequency. Usually the time is the beginning of the QSO, which is probably about 20-30 minutes ago. And so you have the date, time, and the frequency. Roger, roger.
Yes, sir, roger that. And what was the website in which we go to, sir?
It's a YouTube. Go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor KC9VKV. Roger, roger.
QSO, sir, roger that. Thank you very much, and hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you get a lot of contacts and put them on YouTube there. I'd like to hear you. Take care of yourself. God bless, and thank you for picking me up, sir.
Oh, roger, roger there. Lewis, and FYI, you are the strongest station so far this morning. You are extremely, extremely loud. Audio is perfect. We'll catch you later. It's 3's KC9VKV.
Roger that. 73. Thank you, sir.
Other station, try again. Another station back there, give me your call again, please, sir. Nothing heard. I thought I heard another call sign in there, but apparently not. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and we're doing our Friday morning QSO recording for our QSO-VLOG page. If you might be interested to hear what your station sounds like, if you give me a call now, we are recording, and we will be posting this on YouTube in the next couple of days. So you could go to YouTube and do a call letter search of Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and that'll bring up the page on YouTube, and the title will be today's date, time, and the frequency. Yeah, I do hear. I keep hearing somebody back in there, but sir, you are right at my noise level. But yeah, come up on that mic and try one more time. I can hear you in there, but I can't quite pull you out. Just to give you an FYI, this is 100 watts. This is 100 watts. So this is what you may be sounding like to me, and that's back to the KW. This is KC9VKV.
RNW.
Station again with your call sign, please.
KJ4RNW.
Roger, Roger. This is KC9VKV. Name here is Jim.
Hey, good morning, Jim. We spoke a little earlier there. Name is Joe, Juliet Ocean Echo. I'm located in Valdez, North Carolina, about 40 miles east of the border of Tennessee. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Yes, sounding good. Were you sounding not as good before? I'm not sure.
I think conditions weren't too favorable before, but in fact, I told you how good your station was sounding down here, and basically you're the only one that I did hear. So I was commenting on your audio and your signal there, but I'm just curious if you're recording what my station sounds like. Over.
Well, now, Lewis, you're sounding. Joe, you're sounding really good. I guess, those conditions kind of shift around, and lately 40 is 20 dB increments of up and down, Roger.
Roger, Roger. I'll give you a real quick rundown. I don't want to tie it up on you, but stations assist of a little Yaesu FT450. I'm running a Yaesu MD100 mic, using a W2IH band audio equal. I run a 500 watts going into a G5RV, which is up in an inverted V configuration. My depth is at about 40 feet, and my elevation level is at 1,200 feet. Over.
Roger. Now, your antenna. Do you have a problem? Just out of curiosity, did you say you were doing a slant or an inverted V?
Inverted V.
Oh, Roger, Roger. No problem there. But slopers, I have found tremendous problems trying to get the SWR out of slopers, because I think that the high side obviously is up towards the top of the tree, and the low side is down much lower, so the balance between to earth is quite different on a sloper than it is on a regular horizontal dipole, and so you can't. The elements don't balance out very well, and that's what you need to get that SWR down. So I've always had I had a sloper, 80-meter sloper, and it worked great, but I just couldn't get the SWR down. I always had to run through a tuner, and so finally, by operator error, I lost my position up at the top of the tree, and I had to seek a lower branch, like the first branch on the tree. So I was running pretty parallel at about 25 feet or so, and lo and behold, the tuning of the antenna became almost perfect, which really baffled me. But then I happened to think about it. In order to get minimum SWR, the two ends, the two sides need to be somewhat balanced, so they're both seeing kind of the same thing. Otherwise, you're going to have high SWR. So now that they were parallel to the Earth, it fell right in where it should be. Roger.
Roger, Roger. Quite frankly, I got to tell you, Jim, I've never tried a sloper. I've always ran inverted V's, and I realized that the G5RV is a kind of a compromised antenna. I've had very good luck with them. I didn't have problems with them. In fact, one of the tree branches that broke fell on the antenna came down, and the point or the apex of the antenna was as high as 3 foot off the ground, and both radios were laying on the ground. I was still able to transmit. I hear very well, but it's transmit. But no, I haven't tried the inverted V. Maybe a sloper. Something I wanted to try, but I never really did. I figured I've got the trees out here, and it's easier to do it that way. So, in fact, mine's actually my 2 points or two ends of the inverted V are in the branches. No other way I could do it, and it just works. Like I said, I do realize that they are not the greatest antennas around, but for me, I don't have a problem. That's the only way I could basically do it where I'm located at. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Over.
Oh, that's a Roger. That is a Roger. Yeah, sounding good. We have 3 inverted V's up our tower. Matter of fact, we converted some of the middle guy wires to inverted V's. just by needing the space, you know. And so we have 3 inverted V's, and we've been using a tuning method on the inverted V's of working on the SWR on the ground side and bringing it back onto frequency on the high side till we arrive at the frequency middle of the band usually with a 1.01 to 1, and those 3 inverted V's are running 1.01 to 1, Roger.
Yeah, that's pretty novel. I like that idea. I think I heard a breaking station out there. I don't want to tie it up there, Jim. I appreciate you coming back to me there, and I'll be curious to see what we sound like on your page on YouTube there. So you have yourself a fine day, and my compliments on a wonderful sound station. Nice signal and everything you are. You're a 15 over S9 over here in North Carolina. So you take care. 73 is good talking to you there, and you have yourself a fine one. KC9VKV, KJ4, RNW, Valdez, North Carolina, going to be clearing your final. Take care, 73.
Roger, Roger, Joe, 3's that away, so your audio is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Get the duct tape out and nail it down because you got it going. We'll catch you later. This is KC9VKV, and we're doing our QSO-VLOG recording for this morning. If anybody might have a station that they were curious about the audio, want to hear it as it really sounds, give me a shout, and we are recording on our QSO-VLOG recorder, and this is KC9VKV. I heard you, sir, but you're pretty weak. You are above the noise levels, so try again with your call sign, Roger.
Possibly about 50 watts out, and we're in the woods campground, and just put up an inverted off-center window, so that's what we're doing right now. Do you copy?
Yes, I do. Provided somebody tuning up would just move off frequency about 4 kc or so. You know, it doesn't do any good to be 1 kc off. That's not good. So if you move off a little bit to tune, that's fine. And I got the call sign there. What is the name, sir?
Oh, yes. My business, the name is Bob. Bravo Oscar Bravo. And we're visiting down the state home Columbus, Ohio. I think I did that night. And we're running into, say, about 50 watts portable out of the battery, and in a portable so I'm wondering what your location is, and I will tie up the showing the antenna up the woods. I'll copy. The call is KA3 Lima Sierra Kilo. Thanks. Back to you.
Roger, Roger, Bob, and good job on battery power there. You're running 50 watts. I didn't get your location. Had a couple of lightning hits there, but would be interested in your location and the type of antenna. Roger, Roger.
Yes, the location is southeast of Columbus, Ohio, in a small town called Clapton. But the state park is, Burr Oak. Nice lake here, and a nice tree enough to put a center point on a off-center Wyndham antenna that I mounted in an inverted V fashion. So, what is your location?
Location here is just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Very good. Very good. Well, I'm glad. I guess everything, I don't seem to be, I hope the audio, I don't have a lot of feedback. I don't have much of a ground here for the equipment, but hopefully the audio is okay. And RF gets back at me as I show from the transmission line. And, very, very good. Not, once again, I don't know if I broke in on a net or something here, so I don't want to tie you up. But I sure do appreciate you coming back. And at least I'm making the
Roger, Roger, Bob. Now, just FYI, if you happen to have a piece of wire that is a quarter wavelength of the frequency we're operating on here, which would be not 60, 30 feet, 30 something feet. If you were to attach that to your ground radio and stretch it out, that would make even a better ground, probably as good a ground as the first ground that's actually maybe a spike in the earth. You know, if you just right there at that spike, if you just add a quarter wave as a counterpoise, that will you know, fully ensure that that ground is operating really well on RF level. Roger, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, I've done that counterpoise before in the past, and I'll have to go check my guys' fix. I'm sure maybe have to move the wire around and stay about 33 feet counterpoise for the ground. Hopefully that doesn't keep any RF off my audio, but I don't see audio. Unique effect. Incidentally, the equipment here is an ICOM 7300, IC7300, running max box. Your team wings to guarantee that sooner problems might happen with this window at this point. So,
Roger, Roger. Now you have your 7300. Are you like camping out in the woods?
Yes, I am. We have a family gathering, and we all have 4 spots here, and someone else has a cabin, and they trip out in the woods. Used to have something a little bit more appropriate for backpacking, but we're not that way. We'll drive up to a spot and pull the good radio out, and we'll see how that runs. Seems to be performing very well. Contact.
Roger, Roger, Bob. What's 3 is that away, sir? You have a real good camp out there, and that 7300 is sounding great. And we will catch you later if you hear us. Give us a shot. And we are recording our QSO-VLOG for Friday morning, and if you happen to be interested in hearing what you're sounding like on that 7300 out in the woods, if you go to YouTube and give us a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that'll take you to our QSO-VLOG page, and we will be posting this QSO in the next couple of days. And when you reach that that page, this will be right at the top, and the title will be today's date, time, and frequency, since we have too many call signs to actually put in the title. Roger, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Very good. There is a contact. I believe there was a contact. Kilo 4, Uniform Golf Juliet, North Central North Carolina, a little town called King. I just want to jump in and just tell you that both of you guys are doing a super good job on me up here about 20 miles south of the Virginia line and more or less in the center of the state. Just thought I'd let you know those radios are sounding really good. So with that, I'm going to leave out. KK4 UTJ, I'll be clear.
Roger, Roger, sir. Well, don't run off. We are recording our QSO-VLOGs for this Friday, and what's the name there?
This is Butch. Come back.
Roger, Roger, Butch, and what's your location?
A little right before the Town Mountain. It's close to a little town called King, North Carolina. It's about 20 miles south of the Virginia line, and more or less in the center of the state, east to west.
Roger, Roger. Well, definitely got a copy on you, sir. Sounding good. Conditions are not the greatest at the moment, but do have a copy, Roger.
Affirmative. You're spooning in here on me. I've got about between an S7 and a 9, depending on the conditions. They're wobbly a little bit this morning. The station up in Ohio, I've got a really good copy on him also. He was about an S3 on me over here, but a real good copy on both of you. Thanks, guys. I am being called over to assist us on firewood. I guess at that time we are getting a heck of a storm coming through central Ohio. I imagine, really, I think probably the Ohio Valley is getting stormed on pretty good here. So I can hear some static crashes, but okay. I'm going to just listen out, and I appreciate the contact. And North Carolina, you're about right here. Very, very good run. So I turn back over KC9VKV, and I'm going to listen out. KA3LSK.
Roger, Roger, and Butch, you are sounding good, sir. Let me say threes, and incidentally, Bob, I've been looking for the static crashes. I was working Kansas earlier this morning, and they said they didn't have any static noise at all. So I figured the lightning was to the east of me, and I guess I was right, Roger.
Tomorrow afternoon, but we're surviving. Around 11 o'clock, I think we had 90% or 100% just about an hour ago. So we're doing well. Things are going to dry out, and maybe plenty of that's okay.
Roger, Roger, Bob. Okay, three is that away, sir. Thanks for the contact. You have a real good day. And Butch, thank you for the contact also, Roger.
Affirmative. You sounded really good on me. What did you say your name was?
The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike. Roger, Roger.
Affirmative, Jim. Good to meet you on the radio and the other gentleman up there too. And just quick info. I'm running also an inverted V with the apex up about 40 feet. This is an offset, and it's supposed to be good for 40 meters up through 6. And very, very low standing waves across all of the bands. And I'm running about 95 watts. So appreciate you coming back. Like I said, enjoyed the short time. On the 73, and I hope to catch you a little bit later. KK4 UDJ up here in King. I'll be clear.
Roger, Roger, Butch. Three is that away, sir. And like I say, we'll be posting our QSO-VLOG in the next couple of days. So in that time, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll bring up our page, and this QSO will be entitled by today's date, time, and frequency. So you'll be able to find it that way. The threes, Butch. We'll catch you later. It's KC9VKV. Station calling. I think I heard Alpha something. If that's you, try again. Unfortunately, sir, you're right at my noise level, and I can't pull you out. Maybe later on the conditions will change around, and I'll be able to have a better copy on you. So, but for right now, you're too much into my noise level. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor with the Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. If you might want to check out what your station sounds like, give us a shout, and we are recording.
Here is Kilo Bravo 9 Hotel Mike Golf. I'll copy over.
Mike Golf Station, come back one more time with your call sign.
Roger. Call sign is Kilo Bravo 9 Hotel Mike Golf. Name is Chuck. We're located in Pekin, Illinois. Go ahead.
Roger, Chuck in Pekin, Illinois. Our conditions are up and down. For the most part, you're above my noise level, sounding pretty good, and then Mother Nature takes it away, and it goes towards the noise. But we'll see how it goes, sir. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and we are located next door to Louisville, Kentucky, on the Ohio, just across the Ohio River in New Albany, Indiana, but right at Louisville. Roger.
Okay, Jim. in Albany, Indiana there, just across the river from Louisville. We copied that, no problem. We also have a lot of QSB on this end. You are feeding 5.5 to about a 5 and 7, perhaps 5 and 8. But yeah, we'll say good morning to you. Heard you out there calling CQ, and thought we'd come back to you. Over.
Roger that, roger that. I just wonder why folks tend to tune up 1 or 2 KC off the frequency. Well, when you just move on off to 4 KC or 5 KC off the frequency to do your tune-up, you know. Considering at 2 KC, when you tune up at 2 KC, you're putting a 2 KC tone on the operating frequency, which is not good. So move on off 4 or 5 KC for your tune-up. And so let's see here. Chuck. Anyway, you're sounding good, sir. Like I say, the conditions are plus and minus, but for the most part, you're on the plus side, Roger.
Okay, very good, very good. Like I said, we have a little fade on this end as well, and occasionally you do dip down there, but it's not into the noise, so we're able to pull you out, no problem. The operating and the antenna is a 160 meter dipole fed with ladder line into my Dentron transmatch there. We are running about 300 watts over.
Roger. Now here's a serious ham operator there running twin line. I never have ran that. I guess because I don't know. How do you bring it in? How do you bring that twin line into your shack?
Well, I was reading an excellent article in TXT, and I'm thinking about doing it that way, where they're using the insulation off of hot water pipe, the black insulation, running your ladder line through that and bringing everything into there. So right now, I'm actually running it through a piece of 1-inch lumber. It's about 6 inches tall, and I have a hole drilled in it. Keeping it still probably about anywhere from 3 to 3.5 feet any metal part of my vinyl windows there. Most of it's vinyl, but we do run a little metal in there. And we do run a pretty heavy ground system out here. We do have thunderstorms occasionally. I've had a lightning strike on a tree behind the house, but nothing at the ham shack yet. Over.
Roger that, roger that. Now I have heard of people that use like two runs of RG8. They're using the 300 ohm output of their tuner into two lengths of RG8 with the shields tied together to ground, and then that makes it through the shack to the outside, and then they hook up the twin line, the ladder stuff just to the high sides of the coax, Roger.
Roger that. I have read different articles on it. This is how I originally put it up to work 160 meters, and just kind of never changed it around that much. Now at my campsite where I have my trailer at, my RV, I run a 40-meter antenna running ladder line down to my IC4 tuner, ICOM 1814, yeah, whatever it is, and running into my ICOM 76 Mark II-G radio there, and I run on 51. Seems to do pretty good on it. Also several stations into Europe.
Roger, Chuck. I kind of lost you in the noise, and then there was some other noise on the frequency. But Roger. Well, it's working for you, sir. And my hat's off to anybody that can work 160 meters. I have never figured out with the real estate I have how to do that. But then I'm not Houdini, Roger.
Okay, Roger there, Tim. I understand 100%. And it's definitely a waiting band. Sometimes where you play play around Mother Nature there to try to receive the station. I'm thinking around the idea of maybe putting beverage in just to receive and see if that might help me out on the receiver.
Roger, Roger. Did lose part of that towards the end, but let me pass along threes, Chuck. Conditions have changed quite a bit, so you're now towards my noise. So I'll say threes, and good to talk at you, sir. And we will be posting this QSO in the next couple of days on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll bring up our QSO-VLOG page, and this QSO will be towards the top of the page, from the middle to the top of the page probably, and we'll have it titled by today's date and the time and the frequency. So have a good day there, Chuck, and we'll say threes. Roger?
Okay, Jim, since it's threes for you, you have a good day yourself. Okay, for some reason lost my transcript. Okay, you have a good day there. Please to you, and may God bless. And KC9VKV, Kilo Bravo 9, Hotel Mike Golf will be clear.
Roger, Roger, threes. This is KC9VKV and our Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. We are recording now, so if you have a station you want to check the audio, what it sounds like, give us a call. KC9VKV, standing by.
KC9VKV, W84,
VHE, was it?
W84, Echo, W84, VHE. The name here is Gus, Golf Uniform Sierra. We're mobile in Eatonton, Georgia. We're really out of Atlanta. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Come back with the name again, please.
Name is Gus, Golf Uniform Sierra.
Roger, Gus. And you're in Georgia, did you say?
We're in Georgia. We're in a place about 100 miles southeast of Atlanta called Eatonton. Go ahead.
Roger, had a static hit right on the name. Try again.
We're really out of Atlanta, Georgia, but we're mobile in Eatonton, Georgia. Georgia.
Edenton, is that correct?
Roger.
Roger, Roger. Well, you're making the trip, and you are above my noise level for the most part, except when Zeus tends to throw a lightning bolt. Roger.
Okay, you have a wonderful signal. Just wonder what you're running there. Go ahead.
This is a homebrew condenser microphone into an ART preamp, into a third octave equalizer, into older Yaesu 990, into SB 220, and then into an inverted V. Roger.
Roger. Doing a good job. We're running SB 100 watts into 102-foot wire antenna.
Roger that. Well, let me give you an example of what you may be sounding like to me. I'll drop down to 100. This is KC9VKV at 100 watts. 100 watts for KC9VKV. And now back to KW. Roger, Roger, Roger.
I tell you, I couldn't tell any difference. Go ahead.
Roger. Let me check to be sure that everything's running right. I don't know. Rerunning a 7 or something on your 100 watts?
7 to 8, perfectly readable. So 5 and 7 to 8, sometimes even 9. Go ahead.
Roger that, Roger that. Well, we, like I say, we do a lot of QSO-VLOG recording, so we run our receiver with, just like you would copy a CW, with very little RF gain, just below compression, so we don't have any channel noise sucking up between words. You know, since single sideband does not have a carrier to quieten the channel. You have to be careful that you're not really compressed on your AGC circuit, because you'll have words and then you'll try to expand that in AGC compression and just bring up channel noise between words. Roger.
Roger, and you're just doing a great job. Occasionally a little bit of fade, but a really good job. Where are you located? I didn't catch it when you were talking to the other fellow. Go ahead.
Roger. We are located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. Just at Louisville. I can see downtown Louisville from here. It's about 3 miles away. Roger.
Great town. I've been there a couple of times. Well, look, I'll let you go. You're about the only one on 40 right now. I was just working on my antenna earlier, and I wanted to see if anybody could copy, just make sure everything was okay. And I really appreciate it, and I'm sure some other people would like to chat with you. So, 73. KC9VKV, this is WA4. VHG will be clear after your final.
Roger, Gus. Well, that antenna is doing you a good job, for sure, and making the trip. If it wasn't for the static crashes and Mother Nature plus and minus on the channel, it would be a lot better. But you have to kind of take what Mother Nature dishes out there. So anyway, but 3 is out of the way, and your audio is sounding really good. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor.
Kilo Charlie 4, what the
Ooh, Kilo Charlie 4. Try it, sir. I'm about to get lightened out here, but try again, sir. Kilo Charlie 4 station, try again, please. Well, gosh, I must have slipped on down down the signal strength situation there, because I didn't copy you at all. Now, this is KC9VKV, and we're doing our morning QSO-VLOG recording for Friday. If you might have a station you want to hear the audio of, give us a shout. And we are video recording at this very moment, and we have a YouTube page which we'll be posting this QSO on in the next couple of days. This is KC9VKV. Victor Alpha station, try again, please.
Roger. Kilo Foxtrot 9, Victor Alpha.
Roger, I got you. This is KC9VKV. The name here is Jim. Juliet India Mike.
Okay, Roger, Jim. I've been listening for a little bit here. And you're coming into Lafayette, Indiana. 5 to a 10 over, depending upon what the man wants to do. The name here is Steve. Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo. Back to you.
Roger, Steve. Now, did you say Lafayette, Louisiana?
Negative. Lafayette, Indiana. We are 60 miles northwest of Indianapolis on Interstate 55.
Roger, Steve. Well, we're neighbors. I'm also in Indiana. I'm on the southern end of the state there, just about 3 miles from downtown Louisville, just across the river. Roger.
Okay, Roger that. By golly, Jim, a little bit of a storm going on there, but your signal made it over in fine business, so we just go ahead and it might be somebody just out there trying to have fun. I hate to say it's somebody that doesn't like me, because, Jim, I'll tell you, I'm just in love with a little fuzzball. But we've got 85 here in Lafayette, and I didn't think it was going to get quite this warm today, but it looks like it's going to be another hot Friday. Back to you.
Roger, Steve. Well, I think you and I are sharing the same lightning storm. I think you and I are sharing the same lightning storm. I got a pretty good copy, except when I get some thunder strikes, and they are about 6 or 7 dB hotter than your audio. We are looking at the output of our receiver on the audio circuit. We running a situation where we can't really give you an S-meter reading because we are not running our front end very hot, just enough to get the job done so we don't add any noise to the signal. We are just below AGC compression on our receiver, but I am looking at the audio output of the receiver, and you are at probably about a -3 or 4, and the lightning bolt is well over 0. The lightning hit the lightning bolt is about 3 or 4 decibels above your signal, right?
Yeah, KC9VKV, I copied all that from very good signals down under Albany. And yeah, the lightning storm is definitely closer to you. I was looking on the map, and it's about, it's going along the Ohio-Indiana state line right now. And so it's probably pretty much right on top of you. So I won't hold you. Probably someone else wanting to check in. And thanks for letting me in. And I'll have to check out the vlog. KC9VKV, KF9VA.
Roger, Roger, Steve. 3's out of way, sir. Have yourself a real good day. A pleasure's been on this end. This is KC9VKV and our QSO-VLOG recording for this Friday morning. If you might want to hear what your station sounds like, give us a call. KC9VKV.
Whiskey Bravo 9, Victor Kilo Fox.
Victor Kilo Fox. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Jim. Double Street, Victor Kilo Fox. Joe in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Driving 100 watts of a dipole this morning. And, your signal is very good. About 5 over 9. Bumpers today. Signals on the path this morning.
Roger, Roger, Joe. Gosh, those conditions are not very good. You did fade out there a couple of times, but appreciate the shout. And like I said, we are doing our QSO-VLOG recording, so there were a couple of times where you were pretty well up and could copy the modulation, which sounded really good. But like I say, a lot of times you were right at a noise level, and then there were static crashes also. But if you might be interested in checking it out, your call sign or your station, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, we'll probably have this posted in the next couple of days. Roger, Roger. Roger, roger there, Joe. 3's that away, sir. Have yourself a good day, and we'll catch you later. It's KC9VKV. And we've been rolling tape for the past kind of hour and 15-20 minutes. We've got about 30 contacts or so. So we'll be probably wrapping up here. One more chance. Anybody want to check out their audio? It's KC9VKV.
Yes, can you tell me, is my audio affecting the color of my transmission?
Is your audio affecting the color of your transmission?
Yeah, I've been told I have too much green in the color when I talk.
Well, right now it's a question of how many lightning bolts you're incurring, Roger. I'm getting a lot of static at the moment.
Oh my goodness gracious! Well, I'm liable to get electrocuted.
What's the call sign, sir?
W3 Tango Hotel India.
Roger, roger. Now your voice sounds familiar, sir.
I don't know if we've spoken or not. I'm in Jackson, Tennessee on the West Coast. My name is Lou.
Roger, roger, Lou. Maybe not. Maybe not. You are probably about 4 dB over my noise level most of the time, except with static crashes exceeding that. Roger?
Yeah, well, I'm running now 80 watts to an inverted V. Nothing special. And you're 10 or 15 over right here in Jackson, Tennessee. Over.
Oh, roger that. Roger that. Well, this inverted V tends to get out kind of omnidirectional. It's a pretty steep inverted V, about 45-degree angles. I did replace my middle guy wires on my tower with, I had to get some space for my inverted V, so I just converted the guy wire over to a part of the inverted V, and it seems to be working. I think the trick, the secret to inverted Vs is to keep them away from the tower at the feed point. I suspend my connection, transmission line connection to the inverted Vs probably about 3 foot off of the tower. Roger?
Yeah, well, now, if you're going away from the tower and you're end-feeding the tower to hold up the inverted V, I don't think you'll have any problem. Over.
Roger, roger. Well, earlier when I was playing around, I was running the inverted V connection right up at the tower, and it tend to be some problems. So when I roped it off about 3 foot from the tower, then the inverted V started to act a lot better SWR-wise, and then I kind of developed a technique for tuning my inverted V in that I was making adjustments for the SWR on the ground side of the inverted V and bringing it back on frequency on the high side of the inverted V, and just back and forth there till eventually I have 3 inverted Vs that are running 1.01 to 1. Roger?
Let me tell you something. I used to be very, very efficient here when I made antennas years and years ago. And I'll tell you the honest truth. I don't care where it is as long as it resonates now. I'm 86, over.
Roger, roger. Well, you got about 10 years on me, sir.
Well, that's not my doing. That's my Father in heaven gave me that, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is to try to cram as much activity every day as you can, or as you want to,
Well, I'm taking the opposite way. I'm doing the least that I can do every day, except to breathe a lot. Over.
Well, the main thing is at this point to be able to do precisely what you want to do.
Roger, roger. Tell me your name and your call.
All right, the name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and the call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. I'll repeat, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger, roger.
When you're talking
KB9YWQ.
like me,
Stand by.
Best way to get the call out is don't use phonetics and speak it quickly. Over.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Repeat one more time, please.
I said when you're speaking to an elderly person like myself, and you're going to put your call out, don't use any phonetics. Just spit out the call. Boom.
All right. KC9VKV, or as they say in the professional world, KC9VKV? KC9VKV.
Yeah, okay. The quicker the better, and then be quiet. KC9VKV. So are you in Michigan or Chicago? Where are you?
I'm just beside Louisville, Kentucky. And see, sir, now you don't have the call sign correct. I'll try it your way one more time. KC9VKV.
KC9VKV, is that correct?
No, now see, that's where phonetics come in handy. Kilo, Charlie, 9, V, Victor, Kilo, Victor.
Yeah, Victor, Kilo, Victor. You still don't need phonetics. All you need to do is be conscious about each letter, and you're just spitting them out, but you don't enunciate all the middle letters. That's why I missed it. Anyway, 73 to you. I'm going to move on.
Roger, Roger. Well, 3's out of the way, sir, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. And we are running a QSO-VLOG recording of this QSO. We have a QSO page on YouTube. If you might be curious as to what you sound like, you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that'll take you to the QSO-VLOG page, and this will be entitled by today's date, time, and frequency. And 3 is that away. Other station, go ahead.
Thank you, Jim. Man, I hadn't talked to you in months. I haven't heard the VHF station over there in Kentucky in months. This is your old buddy Don over here in Evansville. Kilo Bravo Niner, Yankee Whiskey, Quebec.
Roger, Roger, Don. I didn't know you were on HF.
Oh, yeah. All the time. And I can't believe, because I know where you're at. I can't believe it must be some short skip going on today.
Oh, sometimes you just have to fool Mother Nature, you know. You just have to say, I'm going to talk, Mother Nature, and you're not going to stop me.
Yeah, I'm putting out about 1,100 watts right now.
Roger, Roger. We're doing about a KW.
Well, you sound good on HF, Jim. You really do. Good sounding station. Good and clear audio. Couldn't ask for better.
Roger, Roger, Don, and likewise, I wouldn't change a thing on your audio setup. I'd get that. I'd use Gorilla Tape. If I were you, I'd use Gorilla Tape and Gorilla Tape all those knobs down right where they are, Roger.
Well, how you guys been doing over there?
Well, I tell you, I've been mainly up on HF. Haven't had a lot. Well, actually, Mother Nature kind of pulled the plug on my southeast adventures. You know, I was down to La Follette and down through there. You know, Mount Mitchell and like 400 miles on VHF. You know, I was doing pretty good until Mother Nature pulled the plug.
Roger. How's JR and the rest of the bunch been doing?
Oh, just as aggravating as ever. JR's kind of become the channel boss for a couple of the repeaters, you know. He does the nets, Roger.
Well, that's a good deal. I haven't had a chance to talk to him in a long, long time either. I just hadn't had any conditions for talking to the east of me. I get conditions talking to the west of me all the time. With the Alto Pass machine and everything that direction. But I just don't hear anything to the east when it comes to VHF anymore.
Roger, Roger. Same thing here. East is not good. I don't know exactly why that is, but I used to think that I had almost a direct line down to London, Kentucky, which is about 150 miles. I would work them 2 or 3 times a day, you know, and sometimes they'd be doing me peg outs. And Richard had some problems with his transmit antenna, and so he had moved that transmit antenna down to a fence next to the tower. So the altitude on that transmit antenna was about maybe 6 feet, and he was giving me a peg out. And so I couldn't figure it, but I could copy, you know, working real well with that his transmit antenna being only about 6 foot high.
Well, the only thing I'm using is, well, I got my Ringo Ranger up in the air still for talking VHF, but HF-wise, all I've got is a sloper in the backyard, and it's the high end of it's probably about 35 foot in the air, and it goes down to about 4 foot.
Oh, roger that. Well, it sounds just excellent, Don. Just excellent. And we are running a QSO-VLOG recording, and your signal is just beautiful audio if you want to hear it. We'll be posting this QSO in the next couple of days. If you might go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up the QSO-VLOG page. And this QSO series should be towards the upper half of the page, but if not there, on the page somewhere. It's hard to tell where YouTube puts things sometimes, but it'll be labeled or titled today's date and the time and the frequency. Not this time, but when we started, probably about an hour and a half ago. Roger?
I understand completely. Well, I got to go check on my little one. He's being quiet. You know how that is. They're getting into something. Jim, for the conversation, most of it, you were hitting me 50 dB over S9. Good, strong signal today. And welcome to the weekend, my friend. And I'll have to be looking for you on HF. You hang out on this one a lot?
Yes, usually on Fridays. We do our QSO-VLOG recording on Friday morning, usually.
All right, my friend. I'll definitely look for you. Thank you for coming back to me, because I recognized the voice, and I would have bet money that was you. And because you're just as clean audio as you are on VHF. You got it going good. God bless in 73s, Jim. It's good to catch up with you. KB9YWQ.
Roger, Don. Well, the microphone and the audio system is the same that I use on VHF and UHF. I've got a 6-position rotary switch, and I just switch over to VHF from HF or whichever way. So 3's done. Oh, sounding great, man. We'll catch you later. You have a real good day. And this is KC9VKV.
KC9VKV, KJ4PTA.
Station calling. Come back with your call again, please.
Kilo Juliet 4
Papa Foxtrot. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wondered if I could get back to you there from western North Carolina here, about 30 miles west of Asheville, North Carolina.
Roger. You are a good signal, but occasionally I do have lightning hits, lightning strikes that will blank out some of the words. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. You're coming in loud and clear over here in western North Carolina for sure. I just thought I'd try to get to you there. You're only my 3rd contact on the HF FT450DAs right here.
Roger. Now, sir, you might have what sound like a little AC ripple in your audio. Might have just a little bit of AC ripple in your audio. Roger.
I'll have to check on that. It may be a power supply problem. I'll check on it. But anyway, you have a good evening and enjoy the rest of the day. I've got to get out of here and get some things started around the house. So you have a good one, 33, KJ4PTF.
Roger, Roger. What's the name? What's your name?
The name is Kurt. County Uniform, Romeo Tango.
Kurt. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger.
Alrighty, Kurt. 3's that away, sir. We are recording our QSO-VLOG. If you might want to hear that audio, if you go to YouTube and give us a call or search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll take you to the QSO-VLOG page, and this QSO recording would be on that page towards the upper half of the page, I think, but it's hard to tell. But the title will be today's date, the time about an hour ago, and the frequency. So we've got about 30 stations in there, so it's kind of hard to get the call signs on the title. So we do it by the date, at the time, and the frequency. Roger.
Roger. Thank you very much, sir. I'll have to check on that. Anyway, you're at JJ4CTF. I'll be clear.
And Roger, Roger. 3's that away, sir. You have a good morning or afternoon now. And I guess it's just about time for us to wrap up. We've been doing our QSO-VLOG recording for Friday for the last hour and a half or so. We had about 30 contacts. I really enjoyed it. And we will be posting these in the next day or two. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll bring it up, and the title for this QSO-VLOG will be today's date, the time, we'll use the beginning time, which was about an hour and a half ago, and the that's Eastern, and the frequency, 7189. So 3's all. Catch you later. This is KC9VKV, clear.
Hey, you can't do that.
Kilowatt X-ray 1 Hotel.
Where you at?
1 Hotel. Stand by just a minute. Lou, is that you?
Yes, it is. Hold on. I got to make sure my SWR is okay. I think it is.
I'm sorry. I didn't know where I was at. Hello.
Are you close by, or where are you?
I'm here at the house in Clarksville.
Roger, Roger. Your signal's quite low.
Oh, I know. I'm on an 80 meter. I'm on the wrong antenna with a dummy load.
Well, speak for yourself.
Well, I am speaking. I'm a dummy.
All right, hang on. There's another station out there. Other station, come back with your call, son.
This is Kilowatt X-ray 1 Hotel.
Kilowatt X-ray 1 Hotel. This is KC9VKV.
Yeah, QSL, thank you very much. KC9VKV. This is Kilowatt X-ray 1 Hotel. The handle here is Bill, Bravo, India, Lima, Lima. And I'm located in Lebanon, Tennessee, 28 miles east of Nashville.
Oh, roger that, roger that. Well, sounding good for the most part, except for those lightning crashes. I think we have some lightning activity around Ohio, somewhere there. Pretty big hits on the receiver from time to time. Roger.
Sir, in Lebanon, Tennessee, do you hear in there in GTO?
Yeah, I'm hearing you all. Okay, and thank you very much. You're my, I think, second contact on my new radio, the 7610. And thank you so much. 73s, KG9VKV. This is Kilowatt X-ray 1 Hotel clearing. Thank you again.
Roger, Roger. The radio's sounding great. Tape it down. Don't change a thing. If you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube in the next couple of days and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, you'll bring up our QSO page, and we are recording at the moment, and you'll be able to hear your station. Roger, Roger.
Did you copy that, sir, in Lebanon, Tennessee? In Lebanon, Tennessee, did you copy what KC9VKV said in GTO?
Yeah, QSL, I hear you, but you're pretty weak. It might be too close. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm going ahead and stand by because I know it's a lot of other people trying to get to that other station. 73 is from KX1H.
Tell him again, Jim.
KX31H, I think it was. This is KC9VKV 3ZOA, sir. You have a real good day. Roger, roger.
Yes, thank you.
Roger, roger. And this is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, going to wrap up our QSO-VLOG recording for Friday morning, since it's about 6 minutes afternoon. Everybody, appreciate the participation. We had about 30 stations, and we will be posting this QSO as one chunk on YouTube. If you do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll bring up the QSO-VLOG page, and we should be right there in the middle with this one. And the title will be today's date, the time, about an hour and a half ago, and the frequency. So three's all. Catch you later. It's KC9VKV.
He's got RF in there, sir. Whoever just called for Chill Charlie 9 Victor, you got RF on your signal.
Station calling, you sound like you might have had some technical difficulties there. Try again with your transmission. Yeah, the one station that was trying, I guess you finally demised the transmitter, because I didn't hear you come back. If you got a copy, try one more time, please. Delta Charlie India, I think it was. Let me hear your audio. I think you might have some technical difficulties there. Sir, your audio is pretty distorted. I might look around to see if you're getting RF in the AF or what it might be. Roger. Roger, roger. Well, three's all. We're going to jump out of here. We're late for lunch. We'll catch everybody later. Had a good time. This is KC9VKV. I hear somebody way, way back off in there. Tango Foxtrot India, I think. Right at my noise level. Kilo Charlie 2. Foxtrot... Kilo Charlie 2, what's the last half of your call sign? Tango Foxtrot India, roger, roger. Just right at my noise level, sir. Actually, under my noise level. You are right in my noise level. I can pick out every third word. You have plausible denial. I can copy only every third or fourth word, sir. And now I got some dummy trying to tune up on frequency. Station tuning up. You might want to move it off 3 or 4K, please. Juliet Mike station, go ahead.
Kilo 4, Lima, Juliet Mike. I know you're getting ready to leave. Just wanted to say hello to you. Tell you you're sounding real good in Elkin, North Carolina. Making a good trip into North Carolina. 5959.
Roger, roger. What's the name there in North Carolina?
Name here is Larry. Lima Alpha, Roger, Roger, Yankee.
Roger, roger, Larry. Well, you're about to take my doors off here, sir. Very, very loud. Roger. Check and make sure you're not running an illegal antenna.
He's running a KC9VKV antenna.
Just a fan dipole homebrew. That's what we're running. And running RM Italy 500 watt amp. Running about 300 watts now. Driving it with 15. Driving it with 15 watts.
Roger, well, it's doing you a fine job. Doing you a real good job there. And you might check with our our QSO page on YouTube. If you do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll take you to the QSO page, and this recording will be right in the top upper part of the page. It will be titled by the date, time, a couple of hours ago maybe, and the frequency, so you'll be able to find it that way. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. 7-3 to you. Enjoy your lunch, sir.
Roger, Roger. Now, who is that trying to tune up on frequency? Sir, do you have no consideration?
Can you hear me, sir? I did not do that. I just keyed up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You weren't. Were you tuning up?
No, sir. I was here. I didn't see anybody tune up. I didn't see it at all. I'm on a vertical.
Well, I got, yeah, okay. I didn't think it was you. There's some fool out there doing ooh, you know, right in the middle of a QSO.
Oh Lord. Oh no. This is Z9 GTO Brady with KC9VKV. I'm on the Jim Ferguson hangy dang vertical right now.
Roger, Roger. Well, sounding good, man. But I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you a switch, and I'm going to get you 5 or 6 antennas on that switch, and you will always be on the right antenna for the right frequency. Roger.
I'll be right back. Jimmy, the wife's on the other phone.
Roger, Roger. I got to get out of here and head for lunch. So let me say 3's all. I've had a pleasure this morning. You guys are definitely keep me busy there. I got about 30 stations on our QSO-VLOG recording. So if you guys want to hear what you sound like, you go to YouTube and do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and that'll take you to the page. And this QSO-VLOG recording will be probably on the upper half of that page. It'll be titled by today's date at the time, which is the beginning of the QSO, which is about an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, and the frequency. So 3's all. We'll catch you later. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor clear.